All right, back here with episode 35 of the GameFi Rundown. Jimbo was a little under the weather for last episode, but he is back. Jimbo, glad to have you back. I know you said you're a little tired. I'm a little tired. How you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling so much better now that I'm not puking all over the place, and glad to get back into it, get back on that grind. So, yeah.
It seems like, at least from my perspective, you never left that grind, because I've been watching you every either Friday night or Saturday morning with Scariox and I was at Martini doing the Inferno tournaments, and then you got another one. When's this next one starting up?
Friday.
Friday. All right.
Friday.
So this is going to be coming out Saturday morning.
Yep.
So
the day after.
Yeah. So your tournament probably would have just finished up, and then this episode's coming out.
Yeah.
So,
the Phantom tournament is the very next day. So I think this will come out a little bit before the Phantom tournament.
Oh, awesome! And speaking of that, they asked me if I wanted to be involved in co-hosting that. I did have some prior commitments for that day, but I told them if I'm free, I'd hop on for a little bit. So if you're going to be watching the Phantom tournament stream, then you might be able to catch me on there for a little bit as well. Let's see. Are you going to be part of that one at all? I don't know.
I'm not sure because
I heard your name.
That date's actually my birthday, so it just depends on what's going on, like event-wise in my life. I don't know what's happening yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, happy birthday. But anyways, let's just get right into this. So the first segment we have here is just Illuvium Zero updates. So the big update is that they announced the blueprint minting. So for the past 8-9 months, we've been in the alpha season 0. The only thing you've been able to do is really grind those 15 blueprints, and we're going to have a 1-month minting window to actually mint those into NFTs so they can be tradable on the Illuvidex. After February 3rd, I'm not exactly sure what happens, but I mean, I can only imagine that they have an end date for that because they're expecting to, do some update or something like that. I don't know if we're going to be able to produce fuel at that point, but I'd expect around February 3rd, a little after that, to get another bigger announcement for Illuvium Zero. I know you don't have any of these lands, so you haven't been grinding these.
I do have land, but I haven't been playing. No.
Oh, okay. But I mean, so what are your thoughts on this? First of all, do you think these blueprints are even going to be worth it for anyone who maybe hasn't been grinding yet? And then what do you think comes after this minting window?
Well, I think the blueprints will definitely be worth it because you're getting it at like 3 times the rate right now, right? So I think it's a no-brainer if you have.
What do you mean 3 times the rate?
Because right now in the alpha season, you get blueprints at 3 times the rate that you would normally, right?
Oh, they're easier to get. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I think it'll be worth it. What comes after February 3rd, I have no idea. I hope it's not something where it's like you can only mint within this time frame, and then like after that, your time would have been wasted. That would feel really bad.
Yeah, well, that's what they said. They said you need to have minted these by February 3rd. Exactly. I found that interesting. I was just like, if they're going to put an end date on it, that must mean that something's coming at that time. And who knows? I mean, maybe they have a date that they're aiming for open beta. And we did hear rumors in the past about possibly allowing fuel production to start up prior to open beta so that when open beta hits, there's already fuel on the market. So who knows? Maybe after February 3rd, they say, landowners can start accumulating this fuel, and then when open beta hits, it'll go on chain. That's just a guess from my part, but I think that would be pretty cool,
Yeah, give landowners a little bit of ability to start making some money right before the open beta. And who knows, maybe open beta even comes out Q2, like they would give themselves some wiggle room, announced it to be Q2. So who knows, maybe it comes out Q2, you have a lot of time to build up your gas, and that'll only help the overworld players, so who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Because if we start, being able to produce this fuel on day 1 from open beta, the fuel prices are going to just go through the roof because everyone's going to be buying fuel that barely exists. So that would be pretty cool. I know Illuvium Zero or landowners have been they've been a little frustrated over this past year. They feel like they've been kind of left out. To be fair, I never really felt that way. I always had confidence in the team, but it looks like things are starting to happen. There was also like I guess you could call it a soft announcement or a little hint from Johnny in the Illuvium Zero Discord that there might be some kind of like incentives to play or a reward system coming to Illuvium Zero. I guess he already gave that to Kieran, and Kieran is supposed to share it with the councils for to be voted on at some point. Me sitting on the community council, I'll tell you, I haven't seen anything yet. I'm not sure if he's sharing it with the IMC first, but that would be nice to see some kind of, incentive or reward program for Illuvium Zero. Would that give you enough, incentive to play if you were playing for something, or are you just going to be sitting on those lands for a while?
Honestly, I don't even know why I have the land. Like, no disrespect to landowners, it's just not my kind of game, and I don't even know if there's any incentive that would get me to play. Maybe I'll pull it out, see if I can force myself to get some blueprints, but who knows?
Yeah, well, at this point, like, you got a little over a month, so you're definitely going to be grinding it out.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, I forgot to even change this thing on the right. All right, so now we're moving on again. So, Epic Games, this is already, I feel, this news is a week old, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it. So, Epic Games, so this was just back on December 19th. So, Epic Games had taken Gods Unchained, and apparently whatever Striker Manager 3 is, sounds like a soccer game or football game. They had taken them off of the Epic Games Store because I guess they received an adult-only rating from whoever does the video game ratings. But they were given the adult-only because of the blockchain technology and NFTs that exist within it. And then I guess really quickly, Epic Games changed their policy that said if a game was rated adults only because of this blockchain technology, that they would still allow them onto the Epic Games Store. So after they had delisted them from the Epic Games Store, they put them back on. The reason why this is a big deal for Illuvium is because obviously the beta right now is on the Epic Games Store. And if they were going to stick with this, then Illuvium was at risk of being, getting that adult-only rating and then being, kicked off the Epic Games Store, which would have put a big wrench in the plans. But I mean, what do you think about this? I think Epic Games reacted pretty quickly to this and changed their policy for the better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us are really surprised. It seems like Epic Games has been pretty pro crypto, pretty pro NFT gaming just in general. And it's not even really pro, but they're just like indifferent to it. You know what I mean? They're like, if you want to do this, that's the vibe it gives. So yeah, I'm not surprised this came through. I feel like when that news first dropped about the rating system for crypto games, like everybody was worried. It was just a big nothing burger. Yeah, I was never really that concerned about this news because I knew like there's forces that are trying to keep crypto down, and there's very clear people in this space that are going to be pro crypto no matter what. And I feel like Epic Games is one of those businesses, if that made any sense. But yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about the situation as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. Like, honestly, when I first heard, that what Gods Unchained got delisted, like it really didn't even faze me. And then I saw like, oh, it's because of the adult only NFTs. I was just like, that's not gonna last very long. Like, they're gonna get let back on. It didn't faze me at all. I know there were some people on on X reacting to it. A few days later, we get that announcement that these games are being put back on Epic Games Store. Nothing to worry about for the Illuvium community. And, then everyone moved on. I don't think anyone was really too scared of this. I don't know. Like you said, it just ended up being a nothing burger. I'm glad Epic Games did the right thing in this, this situation. Hopefully we don't run into any of those problems in the future. I can see some other regulatory bodies trying to, shut down games like Illuvium, but I don't think we have much to worry about.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on here. Emotes, if you're not aware, first of all, what I'm about to share with you, if you don't know about it already, your time is really dwindling down. But there was an announcement in the Illuvium Discord. Here we go. Let's play this real quick. So actually, I'm not sure the one in the middle is not an emote. So these 5 emotes around here are going to be, I'm not sure if they use the word exclusive, but I think they're going to be exclusive to this event that they're having right here, where if you play a certain amount of PvP matches before December 31st. I think it's before the end of the day, December 31st for UTC time. So by the if you're watching this GameFi Rundown episode around when it just comes out, you have hours to play as many of these PvP matches as you can. For every 5 that you play, you get another one of these emotes. And then, so if you play 25 PvP matches, you will get these emotes, which will be NFTs, tradable on the Illuvidex. And who knows, they could become one of those collectible items down the road. When it came to, let's see, Axie Infinity, I had gotten, at this point, it's almost 3 years ago, but I ended up buying an early, like, Axie that had, like, a Christmas exclusive part on it. And that's the one Axie I still get offers for, like, coming through my emails like every once in a while. And it really doesn't make that Axie anything special. It was just that it was an exclusive part that was only going on during that Christmas event. And I'm looking at these the same way. In a few years, or maybe not even that long, there are going to be people who want to be collecting these emotes too. And they're going to be like, they're going to have to buy these off of somebody who spent the time playing this PvP beta to earn them. I know you've been playing a lot, so have you collected all 5 of these so far?
I've been busy the past few days, but yes, I'm definitely going to get them. And you, as you were saying with like your Axie example, I mean, there's tons of examples through like MMOs, mostly with I think World of Warcraft and RuneScape, like holiday items that like are released on holiday. They're tradable, and then you never get them again. They're discontinued after that. Those items go ballistic, and now that we have them in like NFT form, I don't think people really understand the opportunity they have here. If Illuvium works out, I could definitely see these being a pretty expensive item.
Yeah, because how many, I don't know if we have these numbers yet, but like how many daily active users or weekly active users do we have right? It's not a ton.
No,
because we're so early. Open beta is not even out yet. So there's not going to be, when we hope that we have 1 million players in Illuvium at some point, there might only be a couple thousand people who have these, and they're going to be pretty rare, pretty exclusive.
I wouldn't doubt it if there was less than 1,000 sets.
Yeah, and it's not like these are just something that can sit in your wallet. These are going to be like emotes that you can. I mean, from what I can see, might be able to pick like 5 to attach to your drone that you can use during your PvP matches. Right now, I think there's just a standard 5. But at some point, you're going to be able to pick whatever 5 you want. Next Christmas time, there's going to be some people who pull out these 5, and they're going to be spamming them on PvP. And there's going to be some people being like, I've never seen those before. I want one. I got to go on the Illuvidex and get it. So yeah, I made sure I got my 25 games in. I'm going to get all of these, and probably going to hold on to them, unless somebody really wants to pay some big money for them.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for these. I love emotes, so I think they're going to do pretty good.
Yeah. Do you use them in your matches?
Yes, I use them a lot. It's pretty much just like, if I'm not like actively placing something on the board, I'm pretty much just spamming an emote.
See, I never think about that, and every once in a while I come up with against somebody that starts like using them. I haven't even quite figured it out. I know you can like drag the drone around and then do it like right in the middle of the board. I got to figure out how to use them more.
I was just saying, I was playing one of the Team Liquid guys while he was streaming, and I was just dumpstering him, and I was just flashing the emote the whole time. So yeah, I'm that kind of player.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be cool because, especially for someone like you, if you're going to be spamming them, you're going to find some emote that you're just like, oh, that thing, that's perfect for my personality. I need that. Going to use it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I've been trying to collect as much of these as possible. I know if you bought discs for the Alpha Wave 1 discs, you're going to get at some point some emote discs. So I don't know how exclusive those are going to be. But then also in this Wave 2, if you bought, I think, 100 discs, you get another emote or another set of 5 emotes or something like that. So any chance we get, I'm trying to collect these emotes. I think they're going to be pretty cool. I like the fact that like you can actually do something with them. It's even better to me than like an Illuvitar that just sits in an album. Like you can actually bring these into the PvP matches and other people can see you use them. But if you're watching this, I want to get your thoughts on these emotes, because I feel like not a lot of people talk about them. But are you going to be collecting these, or is this something that you're just going to use the general ones that they give you or not use them at all. But let's move on to this next topic. All right, so I definitely want to get your take on this because for me, I'm starting to find PvP a little boring. And I know that's going to sound bad, but it's mainly because we have these, the top gamers in Illuvium are finding these really good decks. They're composing them with perfect synergies and everything that goes along with it. And then it seems like everyone wants to just copy those decks. And I get to a point where I'm running up against the same 3 or 4 decks. It's seemingly every time I play. And I've personally, up until this point, I haven't copied any of these pros to try to climb the leaderboard. I've just been trying to figure out my own thing, but I'm also not a top gamer. So I've been struggling, and I end up seeing, these same teams over and over again. First of all, is that just part of what competitive gaming is? The meta is going to form. Everybody's going to use that until there's a game patch that changes it, and then a different meta comes up. Or do you see Illuvium, someday in the future being diverse enough that there could be 10, 20, 30, or so many different decks that can be viable?
No, so that's pretty much just how competitive gaming is. The thing is with Illuvium right now is it's a little bit more extreme. So whereas in Illuvium there should be more team comps that work. Right now there's 3 or 4 meta comps. I feel like once the balancing gets to a place where something isn't stupid broken like Phosphorus, though I don't think Phosphorus is super broken, but regardless, once everything is balanced, I feel like that'll open up and some of the rules get changed, that'll open up the ability for different team comps, and we'll start seeing different units and this and that. So I think it's less that PvP is boring and more that we just need to get some more of the balancing right and more of the feedback in from the games that or the data that we've collected from the game so far.
Do you think there's just not enough, I guess you could say, top players in Illuvium right now to come up with new decks? And then, because the other thing I think about is so many people are just, copying what, Viper throws out there, or what some of these other top gamers are throwing out there, that they're not giving themselves a chance to really come up with something new. So is it a lot of that there's just a few top players that are coming up with these decks and then everybody is just copying them, or are these few decks just literally the best that you can do in Illuvium right now?
I don't think that's the case because we see during every Inferno, every Inferno someone will bring in this random team comp that's off meta and it works. Maybe they don't win the entire thing, but they get top 4 with it. So there's definitely options out there. It's just people have either not found them or they just want to play the meta slave comp, which is completely fair. If you want to win, you'll win at any cost. But I'm just saying, I think there's so many team comps that people probably haven't found yet, and I think that's evident with the Infernos that we've been seeing. Everybody, there's at least always 1 or 2 comps that are completely out of left field that no one's seen before that work.
Yeah. What worries me a little bit is I know they've been talking about a leaderboard with rewards for PvP coming soon, and I feel like that's going to incentivize at least me to start copying these top decks just so I can actually compete and grind up the leaderboards, where up until now I've just been coming up with new decks, changing out different things, just trying to come up with something different that works. And one, because there's really no incentive to climb the leaderboard right now. So, why am I going to just copy somebody else to climb it for no reason? And 2, I have more fun thinking of those things. The composing a team has been more fun to me than actually, playing it. Although you need to play it to see if what you put together works. But yeah, once we get this leaderboard, I feel like I'm going to be incentivized to just copy what the best teams are and start playing that, and I feel like that's going to make things a little more boring. I don't know. I mean, that's just my take right now. I think it's going to be a lot different when we get on chain, because then these top teams, there's only going to be able to be a handful of people who are playing these, because a top team might cost you $1,000, and then not everyone's going to go out and buy all of those alluvials to be able to compete. They're going to be just scrumming up the best team they can come up with what they caught in the overworld.
Yep. As a counterpoint to your claim about everybody's going to use the meta decks, generally the off meta decks that can counter those meta decks are the ones that can rise to the top super fast. So it's not unlikely that we'll see 2 or 3 people come up with these off meta decks that counter what everybody else is playing, and that's where like you see the variation is like the few people who are playing that off meta stuff that come in with something out of nowhere that just destroys, and that's when the variance gets fun.
Yeah, well, that's what my dream is, to come up with that team to beat the meta decks.
Yeah,
But we'll
I
see.
feel
We'll
that.
see. You know, I think that's everyone's dream, right? You be
For
the
sure.
person that came up with the team that rises to the top.
Exactly.
But I also have never claimed to be a top player, so I don't know. It's probably not going to be me. But if I come up with it, I'm definitely making a video about it. You'll know that for sure.
Same.
All right, so let's get to this last segment here. This one is obviously just for fun. You know, we talk about it all the time. Me and Jimbo, we're just losers in our basements, and we don't know anything about
True.
trading or crypto. We just have some fun with it. But I thought it'd be fun because I did this with Ramfy at the end of last year. I really should have pulled out what the predictions were, but I don't have those at hand. So I want to do
That
it
would have
again
been
with
fun.
Jimbo. Jim, what's that?
That would have been fun. Damn.
I know. I should have. But the other thing I was thinking is on this list of predictions I want to do is like how much an Atlas is going to cost, how much a Ramfire is going to cost.
That's cool too. I like that.
We did those same predictions a year ago, thinking that open beta would already be out and we would actually have those prices by now. But we still don't even have those prices. So some of those predictions are yet to come true.
Soon.
Soon, hopefully. But yeah, so I have a handful of things, some coins, some NFTs that we'll go through, and let's say we're talking about a prediction to end next year. So like one year from now, end of 2024. What do we think these prices are going to be? So feel free to just give me a price or give some explanation to it. Up to you. We got about 6 or 7 of these that I want to go through. So let's start with some of the big ones. Bitcoin. Where do you think 1 year from today we're going to be with Bitcoin?
Oh, dude, that's so hard. That is so hard. Cause
Hey, you know what? If you get this wrong, no one's going to think twice. You get it right, you come and clip this a year from now.
true,
And
dude. True.
then all of a
Okay.
sudden you look like a genius.
All right, so I'm gonna give a super specific answer in that case. So
Okay.
I think with all of the wars going on right now, I think we are going to have a suppressed Bitcoin halving cycle. Though I still do think we're going to have a Bitcoin halving cycle that leads into a bull run for crypto. But I think on top of the wars, diminishing returns in general, I don't think we're going to see like this huge like 10x like we see all the time. I'm going for like a 110k, 120. But that would be like by the end of the whole bull market.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, you're aiming pretty high after what you just said.
I'm thinking like the actual just like top.
You're thinking like the end of 2025
Yes.
or like fall
Yeah.
2025.
Let's see. For 2024.
End of 2024, yeah. So we're looking 6 to 8 months after the halving.
What is the price right now? I actually have no idea.
It's like
30?
42,
40?
43.
What the fuck?
Where have you been?
I don't pay attention.
It's been
to
over
Bitcoin
40
price.
for like 2 months now.
Damn. I'm gonna go 65, 70k.
Okay, that's reasonable. Yeah, I definitely wasn't going with that over 100 number like you were saying. But I think it's going to be a little higher than that. I think we could get, let's see, I think we'll break that all-time high, like maybe a couple months before, maybe October, November. And then I think we could be around 82. Let's call it 82,500. That 82,500. That's the prediction there. All right, go. You got something else to say? What?
No, I was just gonna say. I think if Bitcoin breaks its all-time high, it's going to like have some exponential growth, like right off the bat, and I think it'll stagnate from there.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. But I'm thinking that it'll break that all-time high soon before, like maybe 11 months from now. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's go through this next one. So Ethereum, I know you're more of an Ethereum bull than me, even though it is one of my top 3 holdings. So right now, Ethereum is sitting at, I think, what, 23, 20, yeah. About around 2,300?
23.
All-time high was around, I think, 4,800. So a year from now, where do you see Ethereum?
Oh, man. A year from now. Okay, so top... And like this, obviously, this is a rough estimate with no fucking like science behind it. I think at the top we'll probably see 9 or 10,000. I think 10,000 would be like a crazy mental number to break. But by the end of 2024, If I'm gonna stick with my last answer, I'd probably be giving it like I could see us at all time high. I could see us. I think it'll break its all time high way after Bitcoin does. So fuck it, I'll give it. I think it'll be at 4,000, around 4,000.
4,000. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give a similar number there. Because yeah, I agree. If we're gonna get like this ETF, and usually soon after the Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin is what's pumping the most. So if I'm thinking Bitcoin's gonna be a little over its previous all time high, I'm thinking Ethereum is gonna be around its all time high. So I'm gonna go with about 4,500. 4,500 per coin for ETH. All right, fun one for this community. Most of the people watching here, ILV. I'll go first on this one. ILV. So let's see, we're at around $100 right now. We went up to it like 1,800.
Yep.
I'm not sure we're even going to hit that at the cycle top.
Yeah, for the cycle.
No, but I think a year from now, I think we could see at least a 3 to 4x from here a year from now. So I'll go with the middle of that and say 350. 350 a coin a year from now. I'll be pretty happy with that.
Shit. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same thing. I was gonna say more like 250, 300. No, I think 300, 350. That's got to be somewhere because I see the growth. Like, it's not financial advice. I'm a fucking idiot, by the way, and I'm obviously biased. But that being said, if you lose money, you lose money. It's on you. But
Yep.
The way I see it is ILV the price should go up more compared to the rest of the market because we'll actually have a game out, right? So I think
Sure.
the gains will be more than what like Ethereum or Bitcoin will get. But I think it's going to be slow until we get into that altcoin season later into 2025.
Yeah.
So yeah, like 300, 350, around the same by the end of next year.
Yeah, I mean, us crypto bros look at a 3x like it's nothing, but like a 3x from here is still pretty good considering we basically did a 3x the past 3 months.
Yeah.
But I think we could see another 3x in this next year. All right, that'll be a good one to look back on. All right, so a tier 1 land. What do you think about this? So right now we're sitting at, if we look at it in ETH terms, I think we're sitting around 0.3 ETH for one. I don't know, that's around $700, $750 or something like that. So where do you think a tier 1 land sits a year from now? Now keep in mind, we're going to be in open beta and we're going to be able to get some blueprints and sell some fuel from this. So there's going to be utility.
Yeah.
At that point.
Is it actually $700? Because I'm pretty sure that's like the same price that I bought it for it during the land sale.
Yeah, I think it actually is around.
That's crazy.
The land sale price.
Interesting.
Around there.
This is hard to do without like actually looking at the numbers of like what fuel is going to be, how much we produce with our land.
That's why it's a prediction.
If like in a normal way that I think land will work, I could see land by next year. Man, I want to say like 2,000, 2,500. And I know that might sound surprising to a lot of people, but I think it's like an NFT that actually has, again, this is not financial advice, I'm an idiot, but it's an NFT that actually has use now. Like because it's a super high risk asset because of just what it is. I think that will come with exponential gains compared to something more stable like the ILV token.
See, I actually think you're undershooting this one. Because I think it's going to be, I think we'll get around 1 ETH, but I've also already predicted ETH sitting around 4,500. So I think a tier 1 land could be close to that 4,500. And like you said, there's going to be utility that comes out with this. And then also, I sat through that last bull cycle and I saw, land from Axie Infinity that had absolutely no utility, not even a game. And I saw the prices that those pumped up to just at a height. So I think the same sort of thing could happen with tier 1. And I think tier 1 from here is going to have the highest growth compared to tier 2, 3, and 4, just because it's going to be the most accessible and cheapest, land out there to get if you want to get involved in Illuvium.
I completely agree.
So yeah, I think we could get up to that 1 ETH, which is about a 3x in Ethereum terms, and then it would be maybe around $400 or $4,500. So that'll be cool to see. I'm curious to see what happens with that. All right. So the next two, I'll give you both of these at once. So Atlas and Ramfire, and I'm thinking more like Atlas. What's going to be on the cheaper end, outside of the tier zeros. So that like the cheaper end alluvial and then the higher tier alluvial like a Ramfire. What do you think about those two?
So Atlas is like kind of like the mascot for Illuvium, but it's not going to be rare whatsoever. It's a
No.
stage 1, and it's also tier 1, so you don't need to burn any NFTs to like evolve it. And it's also good since it's like a tier 1 alluvial. It's going to be extremely common. So that being said, I think Atlas will probably be under $1 at start. I could see it being very, very, very cheap. Unless it's like a hollow, obviously, in which case,
Yeah.
who knows what the price could be. As for Ramfire, it's a stage 3, so you have to burn the tier 5 stage 1 and then 3 stage 2s.
Yeah.
So like
basically
that compound.
nine ram fees basically.
Yeah, exactly. So that's gonna like make the price exponentially more. And now since the PvP changes from the gaming sub council where you have to own a Ramfire, you can't just own a Rampy and use it as a Ramfire. That's going to increase the price of Ramfires. So I could see it being like I think this will fluctuate. Like alluvial pricing will fluctuate pretty drastically depending on the meta. But I could see it being between like $100 and $300 at the beginning of the game. Yeah, but
wide range.
The range will fluctuate pretty heavily depending.
You think it'll fluctuate that much?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm right with you on both of those. I think an Atlas is probably gonna. I'm gonna be a little more ballsy and give a more tighter prediction here. I'm gonna say a year from now you can get an Atlas for about 65 cents, and I think a Ramfire is actually going to be on that higher end. Always been the discussion of how much is it going to cost to have a competitive deck, but I think you're going to be able to make competitive decks without these top tier alluvials. So I think these top tiers are still going to be pretty expensive. I'm going to say a Ramfire is going to cost you, I'm going to say around 200, but I'm going to say 190 to get yourself a Ramfire or like maybe an Aphisto or something of that level.
Okay, if I have to give a straight up number, I'll just give let me see here. What I'm hoping for is 100. So I'm going to go for 100, 110 exactly.
I think that would be a good price. But I think we might only be 6-7 months into open beta at that time. There's still going to be some hype in there. There's not going to be a ton of these caught yet. So even as the bull run continues, I can see the price dropping a little from there. I think we might actually be close to a peak on these prices around a year from now. But we will see. All right, last one I wanted to throw in here. I don't know if you're going to be able to guess too much on this, but an ETH lizard, because I'm big on those too. For reference, if you don't know, they peaked out around 5 ETH last cycle. And that was, I remember ETH was around $3,000 at the time. So in US dollars terms, they hit about 15,000 a piece. So let's see. I'll guess first because I have a little more knowledge on this. Now, this isn't like an ILV coin that is increasing the supply over the past couple years. There was 5,050 of these last time, and there's still only going to be 5,050 of these. So I think they can go even higher. I think we could be sitting around, I'll say 6 ETH a year from now. No, that's too high. It'll be later than that. Around 4 ETH a year from now. But if Ethereum is going to be over $4,000, we could be looking at, $17,000, $18,000 a piece, which would be, again, pretty cool. What do you think we're doing with these ETH lizards? You don't want to guess too high because I know you didn't get to pick one up.
They're going to zero. So
they're going to zero.
Terrible product. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it'll be that high. I think it'll be like probably like 5. I can see 5,000. But the thing is, like, again, the same thing I said with like ILV in the alt season. I feel like it has potential to fucking rip, dude. Like I could literally see it going like stupid. Like dare I say even 100K? Because like think of like all the partners that ETH Lizards has, like all of the big names that they're working with. And I mean, think of the people that work with ETH Lizards to begin with. Like they have a killer team. So I think ETH Lizards out of everything is like the most volatile, but also like the most rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just think about what happened with like Bored Apes last time. They went from, I mean, what was the mint price in that? 0.3 for a Bored Ape, and then they were selling for literally, was it hundreds of millions of dollars? And
think about like how big we think the Web3 gaming space is going to be. Like
Yeah.
ETH Lizards plays right into that perfectly.
Yeah, like I've been saying this for a while. I think ETH Lizards are the Bored Apes of GameFi. Like, if you're going to be involved in Web3 gaming, I think this is the NFT you need to get. And it could go crazy. I mean, just over the past, let's see, 3 months, I watched these things go from, I think, around zero point 0.3 ETH. They had a big jump up to 1.5 ETH. Since then, they've settled back down. I think it's around 0.85. But there's not a ton sitting on the market. You get one whale that wants to buy up 15, 20 of these, and we're going to go from zero point 0.8 ETH to 2 ETH in a matter of no time.
Yep.
So it's definitely going to be a volatile one, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they can do as well. But all right, that was a nice, quicker episode. I think a lot of that time we spent on those predictions. But yeah, this will be fun to look back in a year from now, see if we got close at all on those. But yeah, end of the episode 35 in the books. If you want to catch Jimbo, why don't you just tell them quick again about these Inferno tournaments? Because they're not gonna see this until after this next tournament is happening. But you're doing this every week, right?
Yeah, we're doing this every week. I'm going to be setting up like an official Illuvium Inferno Twitter soon, and we'll be releasing the dates of all the tournaments on the Monday prior to that tournament coming up here. We're just going to be doing this so that everybody can see when it's posted, and because it's going to be shifting time zones, we want to give everybody a chance to sign up whenever they're available. So yeah, more information will be coming about Illuvium Inferno weekly tournament, free to sign up, and there will be official social medias up for more information soon.
Awesome. And I think you're posting some highlights on your channel right now. Have you started doing that?
Yeah, I've been posting, not on my channel, but we have an Illuvium Inferno channel that I'll be posting highlights on very soon.
Oh, okay. A YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay, that's already up and running?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to subscribe to that one, and I'll have you send me a link, and then I'll post that down below as well. Because, yeah, you're going to be doing this weekly. This is a good chance to, get in there and, figure out what you're doing, get a little bit of a taste of this competitive scene before the masses start, joining in, and we have 100,000 players. We'll see. Oh, yeah. All right. Any final words, Jimbo?
Nope. See you guys. Nope. Have a great day.
See you later. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to his channel and mine. Yep. All right. Later.